This conference will now be recorded.
This day will find everyone well on all of their being. Inshallah, Imam's mercy, his rahmat, his nur is encompassing all of our being. May it be our physical being, our spiritual being, or our intellectual being. All of our existence is in the mercy, in the nur of Imam, inshallah. Let's ask Mullah for his help. Ya Mullah Mehrban, Madad Farma. Al-Hayyul Qayyum, Ali Allah, Madad Farma. Nur Maulana Shah Karim Al Hussaini, Hazir Imam, Hazir Imam. Ya Mullah Tawfiq, Tahid, Himmat wa Yari Mullah. तौफीक ताहीद हिम्मत व यारी मौला तौफीक ताहीद हिम्मत व यारी मौला या मौला
याली मदद
हम अपना मुबारक हाथ हम गरीबों पर रख मौला हमारे करीब आजा मौला या मौला मेहरबान अपने नूर से हमारी हिदायत फरमा मौला या मौला मेहरबान हमें आपकी अशद ज़रूरत है आपकी मदद की ज़रूरत है आपकी हिदायत की ज़रूरत है आपके नूर की ज़रूरत है ताकि उसकी रोशनी में हम कुछ इल्मी काम कर सके मौला तमाम दोस्तों को एक बार फिर याली मदद एंड थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग अस वेलकम वी विल कंटिन्यू ऑन आवर जर्नी on the understanding of the importance of the ilm in our तरीका आपने देखा कि पिछले 6 वीक्स के अंदर हमने स्टेप बाय स्टेप ये समझने की कोशिश की कि किस तरह से हम अपने मजहब को इल्म की रोशनी में देख और समझ सकते हैं What we have noticed in last 6 weeks that how we can learn and understand our tariqa with the light of ilm and all the questions that we have received during these 6 weeks have given us more encouragement to learn together. And remember, I am the part of the learning of this ilm. So together we are learning with the ilm of the Imam. How do we understand our tariqa more and better? Our तरीका हमारा जो तरीका है उसकी जो शरायत है जो शरीयतें हैं जो नेसेसिटी है जो मिनिमम रिक्वायरमेंट्स है those we do follow sometime with no understanding sometime with a little understanding and sometime with a deeper understanding what we have today May I request everyone to keep their phone mute, please? What we have today in front of us is to show you how everything is on three level. जिस तरह
Cannot hear you.
सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है। सर आवाज आ रही है?
मेरी आवाज नहीं आ रही है?
जी अभी आ रही है सर।
Thank you.
Okay, so let me start from the point. What Nachis was saying that during last 6 weeks, what we learned that with the light of the ilm, we can see and understand our tariqa better. We know our tariqa, our rites and ritual. Some know the rites and ritual just as a blind faith, something that we follow, and that is it. Some know little bit more about the rites and ritual, more understanding. Then there are others who have much more deeper understanding of our rites and ritual. And everything is on three level. Everything is on three level. Even our being, as you heard in the prayers, that Ya Mola, help us encompass our three beings in your nur, in your hidayat, in your mercy, in your rahmat. Why three beings? Because human have three beings. We are on the three levels. One, the body, the physical body. Second, the soul, spiritual soul. Third, the mind, intellectual. Human are made of three things: a physical body, a spiritual soul, and intellectual mind. If we are asked, what makes you a living being, then one cannot say because I have a body, because there is a dead body without the soul. So what the answer would be? Our soul makes us alive. Without the soul, the body is the body, but a dead body. But if someone asks, so that was an easy question. If someone asks, what makes your soul alive? How would you answer that? What makes your soul alive? In other words, what is the soul of your soul? What is the Jan, the energy of your soul? What keeps your soul alive? It is the intellect that keeps our soul alive. सो उर्दू के अंदर हमारा जिस्म है, हमारी रूह है और हमारी अक्ल है। हमारे जिस्म की जान हमारी रूह है, हमारी रूह की जान इंटेलेक्ट है, माइंड है, अक्ल है। And that person who has no soul, we call him dead. And the person who has no intellect, we call him mad. So now imagine we have a human body but no soul. Doesn't matter how human we look, we are dead. Now those who have the body and the soul but no mind, no intellect, no akal, they may look human and alive, but in the true sense, actually they are not alive. In the true sense, they are not alive. Think of a person in a coma. And I'm sorry if I'm touching on someone's personal experience in the family or in the friend. Please forgive me. I'm just using that as an example. I'm taking that analogy as an example. So please do not take it personally. But think of a person in a coma. Isn't that person has a body? Yes. Does this person has a soul? Yes. So what has shut down? You will say his mind has disconnected, has shut down. So even though he has the body and the soul, but he cannot function. Why am I using this example? Those human who does not use their intellect. And what was the farman that we read last week? Our tariqa is the tariqa of logic and intellect. Do you understand where we're going with this? Those who practice the tariqa with the body, physical, meaning the shariat of our tariqa is the example of someone who has body but no soul. Then those who practice our tariqa with the soul of our tariqa, meaning having some understanding of our tariqa, is the example of someone who has the body and the soul. Then you come, all of you come into the play. Those who have a ilm, knowledge, understanding, the batini understanding, the true deeper understanding of our tariqa is an example of those human who has the body, soul and mind, physical, spiritual and intellectual, a complete human. A complete human. So what makes us a true momin, a complete momin? Otherwise, there are so many bodies. If we are just looking for a warm, moving, speaking body, then there are in millions and billions. But those who understand their tariqa, wherever they are, if they are following a blind faith, it's the example of a body without the soul and without the intellect. And those who follow their tariqa spiritually, with their soul, not with their body. Not with their body, meaning not just the Shariat, but they are putting their soul and they are getting the spiritual benefit out of it. Is the example of a mu'min with the body and soul. What does the ilm do for you? It makes you a complete mu'min. Because now you are using your intellect and your logic and your soul and then your body to perform the rites and ritual. Now you are using all of your three beings on the way of the Imam, way of the Tariqah. Now let's take some example. Again, we're going to go to second example on your screen, and I can make this a little bit more wider for you to see the second point. The second point we are taking on three levels: prayers, ibadat, remembrance. That is also on three level. The three-time dua is our physical practice of our tariqah. The three-time dua is the physical practice of our tariqah. Then comes the ibadat. Ibadat is considered the spiritual portion of our tariqah, batini portion of our tariqah. So we can say dua is the essence of ibadat, because the foundation, the initial step is the three-time dua. So dua is the essence of ibadat. Then ibadat is the essence of understanding ilm. Now this is the hard part, so I may require a little bit more attention from you. So listen to it very carefully, because first part was easy. Dua is the essence of ibadat. How is the ibadat essence of ilm? Ilm cannot be understood without the ibadat. What is ibadat? Am I talking about the ibadat in the middle of the night, a Betul Khyal ibadat? Or is ibadat part of our submission to the Imam? What is ibadat? And what is dua? What are the prayers? What are the remembrance? So there are three ways of remembrance. First is dua, the shariat, the physical dua. Second one is the submission and the remembrance. And that can include Betul Khyal ibadat. But it is not only the ibadat, because ibadat without submission will not do any good to anyone. Because submission comes before the Betul Khyal ibadat. And how do we understand our dua and ibadat without the ilm? But ilm, reading, ilm, listening does not come into the play until we do what? We say our prayers, our three-time dua, and we perform submission and Betul Khyal ibadat. In other words, Remembrance helps us understand the ilm. Understand the ilm. Last week I had mentioned that depend on what class you are learning, this chart is normally upside down. The way you are looking at this chart, physical, spiritual, and intellectual. In the other higher classes, this will be a flip chart, meaning intellect, spiritual, and physical on the bottom. Because intellect is the one that guides onto the spiritual, and the spiritual guides on the physical. Intellect, अकल, वो हमको गाइड करती है कि किस तरह से हमको अपने आप को सबमिट करना है, कुर्बान करना है और रिमेम्बरेंस और इबादत करनी है। और अक्ल ही है जो हमको सिखाती है कि किस तरह से दुआ पढ़नी है और दुआ के मानी जानकर इबादत करनी है। The reason we have this chart upside down here, we start from the physical, because it is easy for us to understand what we can see physically. So we have kept the physical on top because body, everyone see and understand. Soul, everyone can imagine that we have a soul because we are living. But ilm is hard to learn and understand and then apply. But if you are following your dua and ibadat, ilm comes easily to those. Ilm and the understanding comes easy to those who follow their rites and ritual and does some sort of ibadat. I wanted to use the example of a food. Now I got everyone's attention. We all love food. Food. And if you see what I have written on the food, you will be like, how do we understand this? Look at the food. I'm calling dua the food for our physical body. I'm calling ibadat food for our soul. I'm calling ilm food for our intellect. But I want to give you a example of the food. Example of the food. What happens if you eat some bad food, or if you do not know what you are eating and by mistake you are eating something which does not agree with you and your body? What happens? You become sick. You will throw up. You will not able to digest. Your tummy will hurt and you will not have a good time. If dua, our dua, is the food for our body, then those who recites the dua with understanding will enjoy the dua physically. And those who do not understand the dua will take the 3-time dua as a burden. They are physically hurt. They are physically burdened. And they are physically not comfortable in reciting dua. If I'm touching someone's nerve, I do not mean to do that. but we are just using the example. How many times have we felt that dua has become a burden for us? I'm not able to keep up with the dua time. You know why? Because we do not understand the connection in the dua between our soul and Imam's soul, between us as a murid and between Imam as a murshid. चूंकि हमने दुआ को नहीं समझा और दुआ के अंदर जो हमारा कनेक्शन है, हमारी रूह का कनेक्शन हमारे इमाम के साथ, एक मुरीद का कनेक्शन अपने मुर्शीद के साथ, तो फिर यही दुआ, यही खाना हमारे लिए बर्डन बन जाता है और हमें तकलीफ होती है. Physically, we are burdened by it and it hurts us because we cannot keep up with it. If I'm not saying it correctly, please tell me. Don't do we not sometimes feel burdened by this three dua? Now imagine those poor Shariati who has to do this 5 times a day. And on top of that, they must do nawafil, meaning after every namaz, they must pay one namaz of nawafil. Imagine that. So let's come back to the subject of food. So when we eat food which does not agree with our body, we become sick. Just like that, dua is the food for our physical body. It keeps us punctual, disciplined, and in connection with Imam's remembrance. So when we understand the dua and its meaning, then the dua, the very dua, becomes good food for our physical body, for our physical practices of our faith. Just like that, ibadat is the food for our soul. The part of the submission, humility, humbleness feeds our soul. The part of the Betul Khiyal ibadat elevates our soul. Let's come back to the example of the food. When you eat healthy food, it gives you the energy, keep you away from the diseases, gives you the strength that you need to function. Is that correct? The healthy food. Ibadat is that healthy food for our soul. It gives our soul the nutrition, the energy, and the strength to move forward. And if our soul is healthy due to the healthy food, healthy ibadat, then our soul progress can run faster and higher. Now let's come to the food for the intellect. Those body and those soul which are healthy and energetic due to the healthy food, they are the one who are able to think further, think deeper, because a sick body and sick soul will not be able to think of anything of the batin. Ilm gives us that food. So, what we are learning today is the food for the thoughts, food for the mind, food for the अकल. तो जो शख्स दुआ और इबादत से अपना जिस्म और अपनी रूह को मजबूत बनाया होगा, उसके लिए इल्म आसान होगा. क्यों? कि वो हेल्दी भी है और स्ट्रॉन्ग भी है. हेल्दी भी है और स्ट्रॉन्ग भी है. तो फिर उसका दिमाग काम करेगा, उसका माइंड काम करेगा, उसका इंटेलेक्ट उसको बताएगा कि व्हाट इज राइट एंड व्हाट इज रॉन्ग. इल्म इज द फूड, a healthy food for the thought. Disclaimer, warning. If you take ilm which is not true ilm, not correct ilm, unknowingly you eat something bad, will you not become sick? Those who are putting their mouth everywhere and eating whatever is available, what happens to them eventually? Just think physically. If you put your mouth everywhere and eat anything and everything that comes in front of you, eventually you will have a high blood pressure, sugar, heart diseases, body pain, and all kind of illness, because you were not watching what you are eating. If that is true, and remember the example in front of us is the example of the food. If you are putting your mouth in taking all the ilm which is out there available, you are the example of those who eat anything and everything that comes in front of you. And eventually, you will. There is no maybe. There is no perhaps. Definitely, certainly, you will become intellectually sick because you did not watch what you were eating. Just like our food, we select, we pick, we are careful. We are careful in what we are eating to make sure that food is agreeing with our body. Just like that, pay attention, be mindful of the ilm. Always make sure it is the healthy ilm, the ilm of the Imam, the true ilm that you are intaking. Otherwise, that ilm will bring you ill concepts, ill thoughts, and you will be so sick that you will not enjoy anything after that. May it be the dua, may it be the ibadat, may it be the farman, may it be the ginan, may it be the Quran. You will not enjoy any of that because you have eaten something very, very unhealthy. You have taken ilm which did not agree with your body and your soul. So it made you sick spiritually and intellectually. it made you sick. If your intellect is sick, your soul will become sick eventually. If your soul is sick, your body will become sick eventually. So, what kind of sickness would bad knowledge will give you? You will not be able to concentrate in your ibadat. You will not be able to enjoy your Isme Azam. You will never enjoy your dua because it will become burden for you. You will not believe your iman will slip out, and you will not trust the imam and his farman anymore, and therefore you will not be able to take the ilm from the Ginan, and eventually you will die spiritually and intellectually. Physically, you still be alive. You see, people with heart disease, high sugar, high BP, they are still living, but they are dying from inside, just like that. Please, if this subject is touching your nerve, I'm just using this example analogy for us to understand how important it is that we intake right food for our physical body, our rites and ritual dua, our spiritual body, soul, ibadat, and submission and understanding, and our intellectual well being is very important to us because it is the ilm which will guide you toward the ibadat and our rites and ritual. Eventually, ilm is the one that will give you the logic and the understanding behind our rites and ritual and behind our ibadat. So let's come to the three other sort of being. If everything is on three level, then we must say our tariqa, our religion is also on three level. First one is the physical, shariat, and you can call it namaz or you can call it dua, etc. Anything that we do of physically is part of our first being, body, physical. Then come spiritual, and that is our tariqa or tariqat, which includes ibadat, tasbih, and griyawzari. So dua is the discipline for our body. Ibadat, tasbih, and griyawzari is for our soul. For our soul. Then comes the hakikat, and that is the true and ilme hakiki for our intellect. So where are we? This is a very good chart to gauge, ask question to ourselves. Am I on the physical religion? Am I on the physical religion right here? If am I here and that's it? Or am I here? Or am I here? Ask yourself, self reflection. Because if you are at the third one, which is highlighted on your screen, then this will guide you on the true path. Are you a Shariati Ismaili? Are you a Tariqati Ismaili? Are you a Hakikati Ismaili? If you are not doing anything but following the Shariat, then you know exactly where you stand. And if you are on the second level, meaning without the ilm and the hakikat, the truth, ilme hakiki, then you are in the middle. But if you have a hakiki ilm, hakiki understanding, the ilm of the Imam, then that will guide you toward the tariqat and shariat. Where do we stand? Those are the three beings of our tariqah, just like our three beings. Just like our three beings. On the underneath that, what I wrote, and we will come to the three world in a minute, this part here, this part, that the question to ourselves is, those who are only following physical tariqah, they are called Zahiri. And Imam Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah Salvatullah Alaihi, may our soul be sacrificed to him, have said, if you only teach your children the Shariat of our tariqah, they will become Shariati and they will only know and follow the Zahiri tariqah. Are we doing that to our children? Are we doing that to our children? Are we making them a Zahiri, or are we teaching them spiritual side of it, Batini? Are we making them Batini? Are we teaching them our tariqah and the tariqat? Or are we doing even better than that? And we are teaching them the Nurani, Aklani tariqah. Because if they have this last one, this will affect their spiritual and physical practices. Which one are we teaching them? Which religion, tariqah are we teaching them? Which religion and tariqah are we following? That is the bigger question. Because we only can teach them what we follow ourselves. So we can say within our Jamaat, within the follower of the Imam, there are three kinds. Zahiri Ismaili, Batini Ismaili, and Nurani Akli Ismaili. Meaning one who follows the tariqah with the ilm hakiki, ilm imam, the truth, and then they follow their soul and the physical. It trickles down from the intellect into the batin, into the physical. Where do we stand? Let's come to the, if that is the case, if everything is in three, so is our world. There are three worlds, just like our three beings. There is the physical world we call human world or alame nasud, the world of the human. Then there is a spiritual world, what we call angelic world, alame malakut. And then there is the intellectual world, the divine world we call alame jabrut, alame jabrut, the world of four archangels. Three worlds: Alame Nasut, Alame Malkut, Alame Jabrut. Question to us is, are we only living for the sake of physical in Alame Nasut, in the world of human? Or are we living for the sake of spiritual world to become angels and move on to the angelic world, Alame Malkut? But why stop there? With the ilm of the Imam, the intellectual Hakiki ilm, one can move even higher than that. I'm not saying that. Listen to Imam's Farman. You can be like Pir Sadruddin, you can be like Hazrat Isa, you can be like Farishta, angels, and you can go above that. You can be in Alame Jabarut. That is the divine world, the world of intellect. Where are we and where would we like to go? That is the question here. If that is the case, this may surprise you. Imam is also guiding, teaching, and taking us from one step to the next step. So Imam, as the Imamul Nas, he's the Imam of all humanity, regardless of they believe in Imam or not. Imam is the example of the sun. Sun shines. Sun and sun's light and shine, the heat, does not discriminate. Sun does not say, this is a moment, so I'm going to shine on him. Sun does not say, this is a kafir, so I'm not going to shine on him. Sun does not say that this is good and this is bad. The sun shines, gives the light and heat to all. Just like that, Imam as Imamul Nas is for all humanity, regardless of good or bad, believer or disbelievers, Ismaili or non-Ismaili, Muslim or non-Muslim, Ahl Kitab or non-Ahl Kitab, even atheists. Imamul Nas is Imam for all. Then Imam has the second position, Imamul Mu'mineen. Imamul Mu'mineen, the guiding Imam. And you can find them in the Quran if you like. The one who will guide. Who does Imam guide? The Mu'mineen. And there is Imamul Mu'mineen on the second level. So he guides the Imam. But then there is another position of the Imam. It's called Imamul Muttaqeen. Particular Imam for the purified, righteous Mu'mineen. So Mu'mineen, human, are on three levels. Just part of the Nas, common human. They can be part of the Mu'mineen. So we can say all Ismailis, inshallah, are part of the Mu'mineen because they have accepted Imam as his guide, the guiding Imam, the guiding soul, guiding Nur. But then amongst those human, amongst those Mu'mineen, there are Mu'mineen who are muttaqeen, who are righteous, who have purified themselves with the ilme hakiki, with the true ibadat, and with the true submission, with the true following. And when Imam comes to them, he guides them on a different level, on a higher level than the others. Than the others. So Imam's one word, the same word, can be taken by the Allahs, common. Same word can be taken by the Mu'mineen on different level and by those who are righteous, who are muttaqeen, purified, will be taken differently. Differently. So Imam guides us at the same time on 3 levels. We choose which level of guidance we would like to take. And I can give you some example. It may agree with you, it may not agree with you. You will find a portion, a group of Ismaili only take Imam's Farman on the physical level if it's beneficial to them physically, money wise, business wise, anything to do with dunya, they take that Farman. And they do not care about any other Farman regarding the soul and elevation. They only take those Farman and those guidance. They are always looking for Imam to guide them physically. There's nothing wrong with it, but the problem is then we are only taking the 1/3 of the guidance. Only 1/3 of the guidance. Then there are other Mu'minins who take 2 part of the Farman. They take the physical part, there's nothing wrong with it. They also take the spiritual guidance from the Imam. But then they are missing out on these last 1/3. So they are following 67%, but not 33%. But then those are other mu'mineen, the muttaqeen, the righteous. They take Imam Farman as a whole. As a whole. They use the Farman for the physical, spiritual, and intellectual level, all 3 levels. And that's how they from the Imam, that's how from the Nas they become Momin, from the Momin they become Muttaqeen, the purified. Because they are taking the Farman on all 3 levels. Why on 3 level? Because human beings are on 3 level. Remember? We are on 3 level. We are on 3 level. That's why they take every Farman on 3 levels. They never ever take Farman on the 1/3, or 2, or the 2/3, but as a whole 100%. And they are called Muttaqeen. And Imam say, I am the Imam of the Muttaqeen. So when Imam gives and we take at the highest level, then Imam individually and personally, listen to me, Imam individually and personally guides you. Not us, you. Because you said, Ya Mola, I wanted to be guided on 3 levels, on all levels. So Imam comes closer to you and guides you individually and personally. From within you, he will guide you. That is called Imamul Muttaqeen. That Imam, their guide from inside of you. Then there is Imamul Mu'mineen. When Imam gives Farman, he is Imamul Mu'mineen. When Imam is guiding the Ummah or the humanity as a whole, he is called Imamul Nas. And you will find all these 3 in the Quran, inshallah. So, I would like to stop here today, but what I'd like to do is show you and give you a preview of our next session.